Meet your maker.
Try again.
Meet your maker. I'll yield to none.
Nice try.
Glory is mine.
Try again.
I'm ready.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
So, it wasn't a dream after all. An animal sty? Freight? Or food?
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. A gentlewoman among jesters, you are. Give that...
The Magister Guard snorts and sniffles as he sleeps.
What's happened? Oh, are you in the relief shift? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy lizard? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Those idiots can't even walk straight without mucking it up. Was it Rick's? I bet it was Rick's. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. That's all I needed to hear. Just don't let that caged rascal fool you. You can't trust him as far as you can throw him.
Go on, pull the lead.
The prisoner's buoyant voice...
Freedom. Tastes better than wine. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lass. Say your prayers while you...
What would he have to gain by killing me? Strange forces are at work.
Empty. Empty.
Not the most elegant solution, was it? And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
Empty. Empty.
It seems as though there's a pattern in the blood flow. That can't be natural. Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Is he? Oh well. Some problems simply sort themselves, don't they? Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise.
Currents of magic surge inside you, boiling, bursting, then breaking, only to fade back into your soul like rain into the earth.
My, look at the concentration on your face. All will, but no result. There you have it. See? The collar's function. It neuters you of sorts. Makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's. Oh dear, I'm afraid you're a long way from home, milady. A long way from the little bells that make a footman come a-running.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good girl, perhaps a cure as well. An end to Source. For good.
Did the murderer take him into this room? Or was he already here? Good gods. There's been a murder here.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles... Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around their collar. And small ones this time. We'll find out who did it.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Figured as much. Listen. I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it and bring them to justice. Who's your real enemy here? You let me know if you hear anything. No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
Sing us a song, I know you can.
I forgot how to sing. I did.
saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about swords?
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too. I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers. As everyone lay sleeping, you lay awake thinking of someone back home. A very special someone. You were reminiscing about the things you used to do together.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet more.
Of course it is. The truth's right there, skin deep. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
And I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Your Majesty, maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about swords.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
Suit yourself. Was just going to adjust your collar for you. It pinches, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
And I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more
No.
concern than
The
your
dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good...
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intent.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Not eager to bow before the great Bishop Alexander, son of the Divine himself. My sentiments exactly. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You!
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name.
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a
Away with you. At once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Could you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. They're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Forgive me, Kian. Were that I had more than gruel to serve, if I'd more than cornmeal, and meanwhile the Magisters feast on honeyed meat.
You think me mad?
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
I'm inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't spectacularly obvious. There's some worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squall. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. So, 3 questions asked, As per your own testimony, you can cook and groom, but you have the fashion sense still. Beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
Your kind always hung closest to our divine.
My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose... Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now, shoo! How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your scales, and rubs...
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... Well, I am a seeker of knowledge. That is enough. It is pleasurable to meet you. Is there? Wherever do you keep it? Certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too... No. I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
The elf's face freezes for just a second.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do... Now, please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
Here's the register, man. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform.
Sorry you're upset, ma'am, but we all wear what we wear for a reason. You head on in now. Williams will get you shot.
Well, perhaps and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters.
So you admit it then? You murdered that?
Yes, I did. But of course that was only...
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God! The woman's You there, sorcerer! Go and fetch Magister Siwan! We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
No. I'm afraid I always perform my part solo. Do stay.
She reaches for her collar and simply...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked...
Precisely.
What's happened?
What happened? Must have been the turnips. You dare strike...
The lizard's eyes close as he...
Damn! That doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards. God damn it! Need to get off this wreck, and quick! Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and the skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's fame.
No. What damn fools record... It catches fire. It turns into must when wet. It cannot even resist acid.
The skeleton looks up and notices...
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
I know your god did not gift you with much, but kindly use the little you were given. Do you look at me and think, why yes, there is someone with organs enough to drown? Trifling matters like water and poison do not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply walk to shore. Whereas you, I believe, have lifeboats to pointlessly squabble over. I believe you did, although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that a mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed. Just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book.
So much for a peaceful swim. Lifeboat! That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby.
Said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you. There's a ladder right up.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
The Magister lies on the floor. The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
There's a boat. Wait! Voidwoken!
Beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
Let the games begin.
I'll yield to none!
They who are about to triumph salute you.
I thought Voidwoken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse. Let's Let's head above decks for some air.
We make a pretty good team.
I hear something. It's Magister Siwan. The one who put on...
She tries to speak, but can only gape as she clutches her neck, trying to stem the bleeding of a gushing wound. With jagged movements, she raises her clenched fist and holds out a length of cloth. Blood quickly soaks through the cloth. Magister Siwan's mouth opens and closes, her eyes wide in terror. Blood pours out from around the bandage. Magister Siwan reaches out to you, her hand flailing. It's working. The pressure is stemming the flow of blood. Siwan, something within the ship, snaps. The floorboards shudder. Bloody bubble.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive. This won't be of any use.
The child has a small...
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards. Really? Like, what kind of stories? A dragon that marries an elf? That sounds silly. Can I hear it anyway?
You warmly tell the tale of the dragon, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is somehow upsetting the...
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child screws up his face and looks...
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island. They're gone now. Their Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. No, there isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore.
I know you.
Collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer. Or a duelist. You lock eyes with his.
And a dutiful servant you are too. Chances are I wouldn't have survived that shipwreck had you not returned to the aid of your master down. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so as far as the whole slave business is concerned... Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very...
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended...
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose...
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between the grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have, truly. A kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. You came... Fine. I accept. On one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go.
A black cat. Some would see this as an omen.
The cat's eyes are clouded and its eyes clear, and it...
Answer him.
Stay back, sorcerer. And
we know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come.
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Stay silent, lizard!
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. The fate of our realm hanged, Alice.
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
Come on, old man. I can't
The Lizard Magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
She was a lizard, yet a magister. No matter her reasons, her penalty was fair.